Mall Santas of Reddit. What is the weirdest thing a kid asked for Christmas? Please subscribe, leave a like, comment and share the video to help the channel. Not a Santa, but I have been a Mrs. Claus for the last few years and I always ask the kids what they want while we do our crafts. My favorite was this 4 to 5-year-old girl that told me she wanted one of those loud horns. She made a gesture like she was using those canned air horns and she made a little horn sound. She said she wants to use it to wake up her baby brother when he naps in the daytime so he knows what it's like. When I was 5 years old, 49 years ago, I asked a Santa in JCPenney's at the time for a real lawnmower, the kind that my dad uses. They had me hold a microphone up to my mouth. My answer, along with every other kid I presume, was broadcast throughout the whole store. I can still hear the laughter from the adults. My 3-year-old son asked Santa once for a baby rhino. Santa told him that the baby rhino's mama would be very sad to lose her baby though. Then my son said, okay, well I'll take the mama too. Maybe she can sleep in my mom's bed. Not a Santa but an elf. I read a letter, maybe I shouldn't have, from a child who asked for a dolphin, specifically not autistic. Not sure if he had had a bad experience with disabled dolphins or what, but he was about 6 years old. Yesterday the big sister asked for a pet mouse, the little sister asked for a snake. My sister asked Santa for black men for Christmas. She meant men in black. I worked in Russia as Snow Maiden. This is a Christmas character here, Santa Claus granddaughter. One of the children in a wheelchair asked to walk again. It was hard. UPD. 4 peoples. Who wanted funny answer? In my practice was a boy who wanted a girlfriend. He was 5 to 6 years. Not me but my dad. A kid asked for his mom's milk. He was like 7. I was an assistant manager for a mall Santa with no programs. There was a special needs 20-something black guy that would come by nearly every day. He easily weighed more than 250 pounds, so we did eventually convince him to sit next to Santa instead of on his lap. Every time he had to remind Santa what he wanted for Christmas. His list was Home Alone on DVD, Straight Outta Compton on DVD, and Prince's 1999 album on CD. Santa was awesome, and brought him the Prince CD a few days before Christmas. After waiting 2 hours in line, my daughter asked Santa for a hot dog. I once asked Santa for my parents to get a divorce. Not a mall Santa, my friend was one. He said that the weirdest thing he heard from a kid was a husband for his mom. My uncle was a Santa, and he told me that one year a kid asked for a coffee maker because he wanted to start his own Starbucks coffee stand instead of a lemonade stand. Apparently business was not very good as a lemonade stand, but he noticed a lot of adults drink coffee, so he'd make coffee. That kid is probably a millionaire now. I know the weirdest thing I asked for was a pen that could write like a pen, pencil, marker, and crayon. I'd never seen one, but was sure Santa could make it. I got a 4-color pen instead. A piece of toast. For me to stop upholding this charade. Not the weirdest, but my favorite thing I have heard a kid ask for. At my daughter's preschool, there was a Santa. Kids were asking for the usual things, like toys and unicorns. One little girl goes up. You can tell she is thinking really hard. She asks for 2 rolls of tape. Dream big, kid. There was a joke a radio host told that I heard about 10 years ago also, and there was a mall Santa and this kid, and the kid wanted a Tonka truck that had a hitch or crane/hook or something, and when it comes time to tell Santa what he wants, the kid says, I want a truck with a hooker. Many years ago a small girl would not tell her mother what she wanted for Christmas. Mom told me the problem, and I was to tell her after the kid jumped off my lap. The little girl hopped up and told me she wanted some makeup and some tits. Okay, now I have to tell mom. Was a Santa at a party last week. A kid asked for a whistle that she could blow at night to wake her mom up and scare her when she was sleeping. I said no, that would put you on the naughty list. Let your mom sleep, you little gremlin. Mom laughed. When he was feeling better, my Phil looked just like a real Santa. I used to mess with him around Christmas when we were out and about with a quick Rudolph needs to get back to the pole. We need to hurry. I got a lot of really great looks from kids. The best was a shy little girl that came up and asked for some specific doll. Without missing a beat he says, "I'm not sure what the heck that is, but I'll have Legolas look into it." He always acted grumpy about, but we all know he loved every second. Edit. Thanks for the silver. I love reading these stories, I'll have to share them with him. So literally last night we took my kids to see Santa, and when asked what she wants for Christmas she says, "A surprise." Santa was so surprised he didn't know what to say. Not a mall Santa, but once my sister asked Santa if she could have a horse's head and an ice cream cone. She explained that she was gonna paint the ice cream cone the color of the horse, stick it on, mount the horse's head to the wall, and tell her friends she killed a unicorn. She doesn't remember. Not Santa. My kid, when he was younger, had a habit of visiting Santa once to ask for gifts, and then a few more times during the season just to say hi. "Mom, can I see Santa? There's no kids over there, and he looks lonely, so I could hang out with him." Santa came to daycare. I didn't ask him for presents, I just reminded him that I was good this year. I'm a teacher. I had one of my most difficult obstinate button pusher kids come in at recess to talk to me. He said he was worried he would not get what he really wanted, to be a real elf, move to the North Pole, and make all the presents. He had tears in his eyes, and was the most sincere I had ever seen. Made me really appreciate how hard life was at home. He just wished for a way out. When I was like 9 I wrote a goodbye letter to my parents telling them Santa was going to pick me up and take me to the North Pole. I sat out in our car and waited on Santa to show up and take me away. The most dumb thing about this was that it was the middle of the summer. Reindeer eggs so he could start his own franchise. I was a Santa in 1997 for a small authentic Old West village. I was 17 at the time and doing some local theater, and the costume lady was asked to find someone to be Santa for the weekend. She told me she thought of me because, well, you're not fat, but you're big. I'm 6 feet 6/1.98. So I put on a cheap costume that didn't fit well, and the beard smelled like the last Santa threw up in it, and I waited in a prop shed in the plaza that was normally a sheriff office or something. Tall, skinny, smelly Santa in a shed sitting on a plastic lawn chair. It was no wonder all the children screamed when they were put on my lap. None of them asked for anything, in fact, as they were too busy being scared of me. I had a pair of girls and later a pair of guys from the local Christian high school dressed as elves on the first day to take Polaroids and collect money. On the second day they flaked, and I was by myself all day. I charged people money to enter my creepy shed and take pictures of their own kids. *except for one young lady who was probably older than me and severely mentally disabled. Her parents were so apologetic because she was too old, but she sat on my lap and smiled at me with total naked joy. I can still see her face 20 years later. Worked as a Santa/elf before. Sad part is low income neighborhood areas. Being in a large city is great, but with it come more problems. Sister-in-law was working with us at school function/local mall where they held the Santa thing. Downright worst things that make you sad. One kid wanted a door because police broke his to arrest his dad and took him away. Also wanted dad back. One kid wanted her uncle to stop touching her at night. One other kid wanted running water and food for the house because mommy didn't have any. I have never volunteered to work there again, and yes, we did report these things to police as they happened, so there was some good, but damn. Worked as an elf for a couple years, and we had this wish jar that you could put slips of paper in. A little girl wrote something down on a piece of paper and folded it and quietly slipped it into the jar. The mom came rushing back after they left asking if we could get the paper out of the jar for her. She unfolded it and in crayon it said, "I want dad to come home." The mother started crying and took it with her. Got some other weird and sad ones, but that one hit me right in the feels. Not a Santa, but when I was 4 I asked Santa to get rid of my dad's cancer. Santa cried, mom cried, I was confused. Dad died on Christmas that year. Edit. Thanks for the silver. Guess dad finally got me something for Christmas. Please subscribe, leave a like, comment and share the video to help the channel.